Hey, Wayne. Hey, come talk to these people, man. They've been asking about you.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Good Lord, man. You couldn't iron that shirt? Yeah, hi. You know today's Thursday, Lou. Man, what does that have to do with it? What day of the week it is? Yeah, Lou, you know my mom comes on Friday to do the laundry, Lou. Just talk to these people.
Hi, Lou. Tell me again what you want me to do, Lou. Tell me. Just go out there and talk about the game, man. The people have been asking about you. Said they haven't seen you since the off season, man. They've been asking, what's going on with you? Yeah. Who are we playing? Playing Miami, man. The Hurricanes. Oh, yeah. All right. Where do I go? Lou? Oh, yeah. Right here, Lou. Here. Yeah. Oh, hi!
Oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon.
Hi! I see him, Lou. All right. Oh, you got a new camera, Lou. Oh, hi. Philip Huang, Tectard III here to talk to you guys about my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus who is it again, Lou?
Miami, man.
The Hurricanes of Miami. Can I tell them a joke, Lou?
They don't want to hear a joke, man. They want to hear about the game.
But after that, though.
Whatever, man. I guess.
Hi. Can it be a dirty joke, Lou?
You're a social degenerate. Stop wasting time.
Okay. So my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets playing host to the Miami Hurricanes this week, head coached by none other than Mark Richt. This guy can't win a game, can he? I have more Magic the Gathering wins the last 2 days than Mark Richt does all season in football games. Okay, all right. Yeah, I got it, Lou. Okay, so basically, what's going to happen here in this particular matchup? Okay, my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are going to come out and, well, it's a very complicated system that we run here with Coach Paul Johnson. The triple option is it's a scientific, algorithmic, a systematic, even offense involving various multitudes of moving pieces combined with engineering of just basically what I'm trying to say is that we run the triple option. So yeah. And Georgia Tech's win this game. I mean, it's just. Can I tell the joke, Lou? They don't care about what I say about the game.
Man, you got 30 seconds, dude.
Okay. It's a weather joke. It's just a little bit dirty. Okay. Okay. All right. So, all right. What does Kim Kardashian have in common with a hurricane? Okay, what was that? What does Kim Kardashian have in common with a hurricane? Gotta tell him, Lou. They're both willing to blow the entire East Coast to be on TV. lost the last 3 games in a row. Jesus, man, things are really going bad down in South Beach. And this week they got to go on the road and play Georgia Tech in Atlanta, a team that Mark Richt has owned over the majority of his career, the last 17 or 18 years, right? Of course, most of those Mark Richt wins over Georgia Tech came when he was the coach of a much better team, a much better program, in a much better place than where he's at now. We'll see if the Hurricanes can get it turned around this week against Georgia Tech. I'm going to talk about that game. We also have a couple of ranked games coming up Thursday and Friday, tonight and tomorrow night. I'll talk about those games and a few others too, as well as the Thursday night NFL game tonight. The Carolina Panthers on the road at Pittsburgh. Going to talk about those games right now. Hey, good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Also, in addition to all that as well, going to do a preview video today. This will be the 3rd preview video I've done this week. Tuesday, I do the SEC preview every week. Then on Wednesday, I go through and preview all the teams ranked in the top 25 for that weekend's games. And then on Thursday, I go through a list of games that aren't SEC and aren't ranked, but they're interesting to me for one reason or another, so we're going to do that today. Now, per usual, this preview and prediction video is sponsored by the good people over at betnow.eu. There's a link in the description of this video. Make sure you click that link and it'll take you over there. They're going to get you set up on all your college football betting needs. They've even given me a promo code to let you guys use. So when you get signed up over there, make sure you enter the promo code Uncle Lou. That's one word, all lowercase letters, Uncle Lou, and they're going to give you a bonus on whatever you deposit. Good luck. All right, let's start off with a Thursday night game with a ranked team here. We got Wake Forest on the road at number 14 ranked NC State. Are they really ranked 14? Yeah, they are. This one's 7:30 tonight over on ESPN. Wake Forest, not a good team, 4-5. How bad are they? Well, they lost to Florida State, if that tells you anything, and it should. Florida State, one of the worst teams in America. NC State, of course, is 6-2. NC State will win this game, right? It's at home. If this was on the road, you could do one of those things where maybe you take the underdog, because you see this a lot of times with a road favorite losing on Thursday and Friday weekday games. Not the case here. I expect NC State to win this game. 18 points, though. They haven't won very many games by that many this season. I'm not sure they'll do it tonight either. I don't really like Wake Forest, but 18 points is a lot. I'm going to take the visitor here. Give me the Demon Deacons, whatever that is. It's some sort of evil priest. I don't know what that is. Anyway, give me Wake Forest. I'll take the 18. All right, 2 games tomorrow night with ranked teams. Up first, you got Louisville on the road at Syracuse. They're ranked 13th. This game comes on 7 o'clock over on ESPN2 on Friday night. Louisville 2-7. Flip that around. Syracuse is 7-2. Syracuse probably the 2-loss team that gets talked about the least, I think, right? A lot of 2-loss teams are considered disappointments this year, or were ranked really, really high and have lost a couple of games and fell off. Penn State, Texas, I could go on and on with some teams that have lost some games here. Syracuse, sort of the other way around, have come out of nowhere, sit now at 7-2. Remember, they almost beat Clemson a month or so ago. A pretty good team here, Syracuse. They're a 21-point favorite, though. That's a lot of points. Louisville lost plenty of games by that, though. Georgia Tech blew them out. Of course, Alabama blew them out. Louisville, just a terrible team. Is this Bobby Petrino's last year? I don't know. He's right up there with Urban Meyer, though, in terms of people you should be looking up to. This guy's just human trash. Bobby Petrino, don't care too much for him for obvious reasons. Syracuse will run the ball here. Now, Syracuse can throw the ball too, but believe it or not, Louisville's actually done okay this year against the pass. I do like Syracuse as quarterback, but Louisville's done okay against the pass this year. The run is where they've been hurt the most. I mean, they've played some teams that have gashed them through the air. Alabama comes to mind, but I think Syracuse will run the ball. Like I said, Louisville's pass defense is okay. But Syracuse is going to win this game. They'll control the clock in this game. They'll dominate both lines of scrimmage. Louisville is just really, really that bad. Offensively, they're just pitiful. They haven't been able to get anything going, running or throwing all year long. I'm going to take the Orange Man. Yep, that's right. Give me the home team, the Fruits, in late of 21. All right, about the time that one goes off, over on ESPN2, you can check out number 23 ranked Fresno State on the road at Boise State. These are two of the non-Power 5 teams, right, that you tend to keep an eye on almost every year. Of course, you got Central Florida, Boise State, Fresno State really good this year, Cincinnati, Houston. You got a handful of teams here that are pretty good. South Florida you can put in that group too. But they're on the road at Boise State here. Fresno State's only a 2.5-point favorite. Fresno State's 8-1, right? Their only losses to Minnesota. Wow, that's not very impressive. You would think a team like Fresno State would be able to handle a bottom-rung Big Ten team, but they didn't. They're 8-1 with a loss to Minnesota. Boise State, on the other hand, 7-2. Their 2 losses are against Oklahoma State. That's understandable, I guess. And San Diego State, probably like to have that one back. Boise State's won 4 in a row here. Fresno State hasn't lost since week 2, I think, when they played Minnesota, I believe when that was. Fresno State, 2.5 points. I just honestly believe Fresno State's a better team than Boise State. Yeah, I know they're going on the road here. They got to play on the Smurf turf. I'll try to watch some of this game, and I'm going to be honest, it gives me a headache watching Boise State on that blue field. I don't really see why Boise State needs that gimmick anymore. They're a pretty well-respected program at this point, going back to what they did under Chris Peterson a decade or so ago, even winning a BCS Bowl. Who did they win that BCS Bowl again? Oh, yeah, Oklahoma. Even back then, Oklahoma didn't have no defense, did they? Nope, they didn't. I think Fresno State finds a way to win this game. I think this will be a close game. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a back-and-forth type of thing. I'm going to go with the favorite here. Give me Fresno State, lay to 2.5. All right, and a few games on Saturday that interest me. Going to go in chronological order with some noon games up through some games later in the day. Kansas at Kansas State. Why would I even waste time talking about this game? Both teams are 3-6. Both teams are terrible, right? Not much of a reason to get excited about either one of these two teams, even if you're a fan of them. Why do I even bring this up? How about this? Les Miles to Kansas. SEC fans, how would you feel about that? Do you think that's a good landing spot for Les Miles? There are some rumors and some steam starting to get going here for Les Miles to Kansas. I think Les Miles is probably Kansas's first choice there. They're also looking at, I think, Dave Duran. But if Kansas can get Les Miles, let's be real, that's a good get for Kansas. And I'm kind of surprised Les Miles would even consider that job. I know he kind of petered out at the end at LSU there, but it seems to me Les Miles is a better coach or could get a better job than Kansas. Hard to believe he would end up there, but it looks like that might happen. We'll see. They're 3-6. Kansas State, there's also some coaching rumors going on there. Of course, their coach, Skeletor, a.k.a. Bill Snyder, has been coaching, since the leather helmet days, right? This guy's been around forever. And whenever anyone talks about Bill Snyder, that's all they say. I mean, the guy just hasn't been a very good coach. Well, I'll take that back. Maybe he's an okay coach, but it's not like Kansas State has had great teams very often under Bill Snyder. He retired once about 10 years ago. In fact, I think it was 10 years ago this week he retired. He came back. There's some people trying to push him out now. Of course, he just signed a big extension. I can't remember if it was the beginning of this season or the end of last season, but he signed a 4 or 5 year extension at Kansas State. But there's some pressure on him to, quote unquote, do the right thing and go ahead and step down. There's even been some articles written in local newspapers there up around Kansas State. The St. Louis newspaper had a big article on it too. A lot of opinion pieces, things like that coming out by some of the sports writers from that area saying maybe it's time for Skeletor to just ride off into the sunset. No idea who Kansas State would be looking at to replace him, but we'll keep an eye on that situation. That's really the only reason I wanted to talk about this game today, mainly the Les Miles thing. I know a lot of people that watch this channel are fans of SEC teams and have opinions, good, bad, or whatever, about Les Miles, so I thought it'd be interesting to bring that up. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. Is that something you think Les Miles should consider? Kansas? Really? How would Les Miles do in the Big 12? You look at the Big 12, it's high-flying offenses and no real defenses. Look at Les Miles' teams at LSU. Does it seem to fit the mold of the Big 12? I'm not sure. You guys let me know what you think about Les Miles to Kansas. But anyway, I'm going to take Kansas State. They're a 10.5-point favorite. This game comes on at 12 o'clock. Good luck finding it on TV. You probably won't. But I'll take the home team here and lay the 10.5. All right, how about a Pac-12 team with one disappointment and one team that has a shot to play for the Pac-12 title? Oregon, what a disappointment. Goes on the road to play Utah. Oregon 6-3, Utah 6-3. Utah happy to be 6-3. Oregon considering this sort of a blown season here. Oregon's not been good on the road this year. A couple of losses. Can Utah win the South and the Pac-12? I think they probably can. They're going to need to win this game, I think, to do it. I think they do win. They're a 4.5-point favorite, 5:30 on the Pac-12 network if you want to watch this one. I think Utah, at this point in the season, sees the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of winning the Pac-12 South and having a shot at the Pac-12 title there in December. I think they come out ready to play here. Oregon a little demoralized in my mind. I'm going to take the home team here. Willingham, an underrated coach, by the way, at Utah. Will he ever get a better job? We'll see. But he's a good coach. He's doing good work at Utah. Give me the home team. I'm going to take Utah and lay to 4.5. Oregon's just been disappointing. All right, last college game, then we'll do the NFL game. So if you're not interested in the NFL, you can click off after I talk about this last college game here. 7 o'clock over on ESPN2. The Miami Hurricanes on the road at Georgia Tech. Two fan bases that couldn't care less about their teams, right? Neither one of these teams sells out a game unless the team they're playing, unless their fans buy up a lot of the tickets and make the journey, right? Georgia Tech, pitiful attendance. Miami, pitiful attendance unless they're winning. The most fair weather bandwagon fan base in America by far right now is the Miami Hurricanes. You couldn't throw a rock without hitting a Miami fan the first 10 games of last season. Now you can't hardly find one. You get a telescope and some binoculars, stack them on top of each other to look, and you probably still couldn't find but a handful of Miami fans at this point in the year. They've lost 3 straight. They're 5-4. Georgia Tech's also 5-4, but they've won 2 straight. Georgia Tech started off really, really bad. There was even some rumblings about Paul Johnson possibly getting fired. They sort of turned it around over the last month or so, like I mentioned, winning 2 in a row. The fire Paul Johnson talk has pretty much subsided at this point, which is great news for your boy Uncle Lou here. I need Paul Johnson to keep his job permanently at Georgia Tech if he can. I fully support Coach Paul Johnson. I think he deserves a lifetime raise and extension. And you can add Gus Malzahn and Will Muschamp to that list too. 3 of my favorite coaches in all of football. Hope those guys keep their job forever. Georgia Tech runs for 377 yards a game. That's no surprise, is it? Miami, on the other hand, say what you want, and yes, they've been disappointing. Their defense has been good this year. They're only giving up 123 yards rushing on the ground per game. That's good for 23rd best in America. Now, Georgia Tech played Clemson earlier in the year. Clemson's got a better defense than Miami. They're 6th in the nation against the run, but Clemson held Georgia Tech to 146 on the ground. I think Miami's going to have a similar performance in this game if they want to have a chance of winning. Honestly, if they can hold them under 200, I think Miami's got a pretty good chance to win this to win this game. 23rd against the run. We'll see if they can do that. This was a tough one here. When I make these preview videos, I sit down at the desk over here and I write the games out that I want to cover, and then I look up a little bit of information about the games and the teams or whatever. Then I go through and I'll circle the team that I'm going to end up picking when I do the video here. I have both of these teams circled. I couldn't figure out which way to go here. Mark Richt says this week every single position on his team is up in the air. It's an open competition. The fans hate the quarterback situation there. Mark Richt don't want to hire an offensive coordinator. A lot of this stuff sounds familiar. I'm going to take Miami. Georgia Tech's been on a roll. Miami's been struggling. I think Miami's defense shows up this week and they find a way to score enough points to beat Georgia Tech. Give me the 3 points, though, but I'm going to take the Hurricanes on the road. All right, how about an NFL game? Thursday night game. You got the Carolina Panthers going on the road to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Carolina 6-2. Both their losses have been on the road, which could be trouble here. Pittsburgh 5-2-1. Had that weird tie against Cleveland back at the beginning of the year. Both Pittsburgh's losses are at home, though. So they've been a better road team than they have a home team. Panthers struggled on the road, losing both their losses coming on the road. Panthers have won 3 in a row. Pittsburgh's won 4 in a row. Both teams are hot right now. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose, don't they? Yeah, they do. Going to be cold up there. Going to be in the 30s. Slight chance of rain. Who does that favor? Probably Pittsburgh, in my opinion. I just think Pittsburgh's a more talented team. They're at home. Panthers got to travel up there and play in the cold. They're not used to that. 3 points isn't a whole lot. I do think this will be a close game, though. I'm going to take Pittsburgh late at 3. Is Le'Veon Bell ever going to play again? Come on, dude.